Adventures in Succulents. Welcome to those who are new to my channel, and welcome back to those who've been here before. It is September now. The fall weather is coming. It's officially fall, and the weather is cooling down here in Southern California. So I'm out here in the garden doing some succulent therapy, and I wanted to take you along and see what I'm doing today. Today's adventure is going to be on the succulent Aptenia Cordefolia, otherwise known as red apple, baby rose. Some people even call it an ice plant. So if you're interested in that succulent or succulents in general, we're going to go over some propagation tips, what's the best ways to take care of Aptenia, and some interesting facts about that succulent as well. And if you are interested in that succulent or learning more about succulents, or you just like gardening, then be sure to subscribe, click that like button, and keep on watching. So this is my Aptenia Cordefolia. It is the variegated version. Normally it blooms all year round. Pink flowers on this particular version of the Aptenia Cordefolia. The regular version that's non-variegated has the red flowers, and that one is called red apple. So it usually thrives in temperatures, well, actually in part shade and part sun. This is where it's located here in our garden. It can go as low as 20 to 30 degrees as its lowest temperature, so it's pretty hardy and won't be in danger of freezing like some other succulents are when it does get cold. Here in Southern California, we're pretty fortunate that it's above that range for most of the year, but during the winter time, when it rains, it can also get as low as 30, 34, 40 degrees. So this is a very hardy succulent. So here in these particular arrangement, I have chosen to use it as a hanging plant or a spiller on the arrangement. This was created probably a year and a half ago. I had bought it as ground covering. They were selling it as ground covering, and I just put it in these pots as a spiller. It has the habit of cascading as a cascading growth pattern. So that's what you see here. So you can see them in hanging plants, or you can also see it as a ground cover. They are pretty much very carefree. It's a drought tolerant plant and doesn't need a lot of water. So now, as you can see, it's when I first planted these, they did not touch the ground. So now they're starting to trail on the gravel. So instead of cutting it, what I'm going to do is see if I can propagate it in a way where I don't have to cut it first to give it a better chance of surviving. Because usually once you do cut off a succulent, well, like this succulent, because it's more fleshy than other succulents, they tend to dry up and not root as quickly as, say, a stemmy type of succulent, like this one here, this sedum praetum. Because it has that stem where you can actually cut it here and then just stick it in the ground and it will do fine. But the Aptenia, it's more fleshy here. If you can see that close up here, it's more of a flesh instead of a stem. So that's what I want to do. I mean, I've had success where I just cut off parts of Aptenia and then just stick it in the ground. But I just wanted to do a little experiment and see if this other method would be a better way of salvaging and making and creating more Aptenia without losing a lot of cuttings. You know, if you figure out the percentage of losing cuttings versus ones that survive, I would say 90–80% survive. I just want to increase the odds. Another interesting fact that I found out while researching this plant is that these are actually not toxic. So if you have pets who tend to eat your plants, well, this is a good plant to have around. So it's non-toxic, and it's actually an edible succulent. Believe it or not, I just found that out. According to the chef out in Australia, I'll write down his name down here in the description box if you want to do your own research. He uses it in his restaurant. He puts them in salads, and including the pink flowers that bloom as well in salads. And he uses a lemony vinaigrette for the dressing. He also mixes up I guess, green beans with it, with the leaves. Just the leaves is what he uses, and the flowers. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So maybe one day when I can increase, or if my propagation efforts are successful and I have loads and loads of Aptenia, I'm going to go ahead and try it in a salad. So, but if you've already tried it before, let me know in the comments and let me know how it tastes. So according to the chef, an apple lemony flavor to it. Okay, what I've done, if you can see here, it's growing on the gravel. But you can see it's already, it needs some maintenance. Every succulent needs maintenance, and this is not one of the exceptions. And you will see that there will be some dried leaves like this. So you just have to clean it up. It doesn't hurt the plant at all if you can just pinch off the dry leaves, which is what I did with this one already. As you can see, I have a separate pot over here right next to it, and instead of taking cuttings from it, what I've decided to do is just lay, you know, the nodes. This one, let me take it out. This one where it has a little protrusion right here. See, normally that's what I would plant if I were to cut it. I would cut it right here and stick this in the dirt. So what I'm going to do is just stick that node or that joint where the leaves are sprouting from, cover it with some dirt like that, and just leave it attached to the mother plant. And the rationale for that is the plant will still have nutrients travel to the leaves here. That way it can still keep the foliage. And in that node area, that's where the rooting is going to be happening. I've done it with other plants, so I'm going to see if it's going to be a better way to salvage the leaves. Because normally if I do cut it off, I'm going to have to lose these leaves, they're going to turn brown, and I just want to keep as much of the plant as possible instead of losing it. So that's what I've done with this one, as well as that. So this here, I'm going to put it in here. And this is just a normal pot of soil. You can use your own recipe of soil. But I'm just using a little Miracle Grow here, only because it's available to me now. And I find that succulents still do well in it, as long as you don't overwater or make the soil too wet. And that's it. That's all it is to it. So I'm just going to leave it close to there. That way it can root. And really, that's what the plant naturally does. If it was a ground cover, it would be expanding, you know, rooting to nearby soil areas. So that's what I'm going to do. And once it does root, then I will have this new pot of Aptenias, and then I can cut off the supply from the mother because it's already established its roots. So that's the goal of all this madness. That's about it for Aptenia Cordefolia. And I really love the leaves on these plants. I love the variegated look. And when it does bloom, the flowers are really cute and petite. So let me move on. I'm going to show you the green one that's not variegated. Alright, this is the non-variegated version of the Aptenia Cordefolia. This has the common name of red apple. So this is also edible. I still have it in the flat. I haven't really had a chance to come out here and do a lot of gardening, but it's been surviving pretty well in this flat here. Just watering it. And this one, you can see, does have a bloom here. It's not really red, but more of a deep fuchsia flower. So that is the non-variegated version of Aptenia Cordefolia. Okay, I just wanted to show you my wandering Jew, or my Tradescantia species. I love this flower. This also has a cascading growth pattern, but technically it's not a succulent. It's a perennial. It's a perennial plant. And here I started these out. These started out as cuttings, and then I rooted them in water, and then it got out of control. We placed it in a pot of soil, and it just kept on growing. So we took those out. It was getting too big for its pot, and then we planted it in this bigger pot. So it's been here since, I think, 2017. it's 4 years already, almost 4 years. And although it hasn't really been, you know, spilling over a little bit, but on this side it was touching the table. So I did the same technique as what I did with the Aptenia Cordefolia. And it's been about 3 weeks since I did that. And I just want to check to see if there's any roots so that we can kind of gauge how long to expect the Aptenia Cordefolia. So same thing, you just check to see where the nodes are, where it's a little bit thicker, and then that's what normally you would cut the internode and then cut the internode and insert the node here into the dirt, and that's how you would propagate this plant. So this one, it's still attached to the mom here, and since it was draping over, what I did is I put a pot right here with some dirt and just laid some of the nodes that were hanging over into the pot, and it's been watered. So let's take a look and see if there's any roots that have been sprouting. This one, no roots on that. This one, ooh, this one actually got severed. Yep, no roots on this one. I think they love their mama. This one has roots. We have roots. This one has roots. So this one is working well. So that's the plan. I just want it to root on its own, and then eventually I will cut off the plant from the mama, and then we will have a brand new plant. Okay, that was today's succulent adventure. Thank you so much for watching and stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the tips that I was able to share with you today. If you would like more succulent information, see more succulent adventures, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share if you are inclined to do so, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you find a little bit more time to spend some succulent therapy or garden therapy in your own gardens. Have a great day.